All right, the Sun Bowl. This is an annual bowl game, El Paso, Texas. This one's been around for a long, long time. Sun Bowl, Notre Dame, Oregon State, home of UTEP. We've got Notre Dame, 6.5 point favorites, 43 being the total. Yeah, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. That's right. I forgot that cornflakes or Frosted Flakes, I should say, have been sponsoring it. Yeah, so hopefully this bowl game then is great. Well, we'll see about that with the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. I couldn't resist doing that. All right, you look at Notre Dame here. No Sam Hartman, obviously, he's departed for parts elsewhere, obviously, and we'll see now what ends up happening with the situation involving the quarterback spot. It looks like Steve Angeli is going to be the starting quarterback here for this bowl game for Notre Dame. So yes, he's opted out of the bowl game and obviously departed. So we'll see how Angeli plays. He had 76% completions this year. Actually, the numbers are good. He didn't play a ton. Got into 6 games. He did have 25 pass attempts in 6 games this year for Notre Dame. 76% completions, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 272 passing yards. So the numbers are actually pretty solid in limited duty for Steve Angeli. We'll see if they work with him here for the bowl game. It looks like in this one we've got, and then also something else to point out for Notre Dame. You look at who else is going to be missing here. It's a laundry list. Plus, Gerard Parker, the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame, has left to become the head coach at Troy. So there's an OC, new play caller for this game is going to be in the mix for Notre Dame. But in the transfer portal, you're talking about a few receivers: Chris Tyree, Rico Flores, Tobias Merriweather, all in the portal. And then for opt-outs, you mentioned Sam Hartman as he's turning pro and not playing in this bowl game. It looks like 2 terrific offensive linemen, Blake Fisher, and especially the left tackle, Joe Alt, who's going to be a very high first-round pick in the NFL draft this year. Both of those guys are opting out. And for this game, Alt obviously for the NFL draft. And then the other one is the big one, Audric Estime. We know how vital he's been to the offense. Great running back, great Notre Dame career. He will not play, Audric Estime, here in this game against the Oregon State Beavers. So that's a lot of talent. That's a lot of key contributors missing for this game with an unknown at quarterback in Angeli, because we just don't know, how he's going to play. And another one, too, in the transfer portal that's worth noting, the starting center, Zeke Correll. Started the season as the starting center. He's in the transfer portal as well for Notre Dame. So I think you put it all together, and that can explain why Notre Dame opened a 10.5-point favorite here, and they're down to 6.5 here in this game against Oregon State. Then you look at the Oregon State Beavers. While I agree that Notre Dame's vulnerable now, it's not like Oregon State's got, an outstanding situation here either. Jonathan Smith is gone. He took the Michigan State head coaching job. Trent Bray, the defensive coordinator, it looks like he's gone from the bowl game as well. It looks like Kefense Heinzen is going to be the interim coach. Anthony Perkins, the interim DC. So you've just got a hell of a huge shakeup with Oregon State, going into this game. Now you've also got DJ Uiagalelei in the transfer portal for Oregon State, which means Ben Gulbranson is going to be the starting quarterback here for Oregon State. And he's been in the program here for multiple years. I think this is 4th year with the Oregon State program. He's had a total of 204 pass attempts in his career. The most came last year, because last year he started a bunch of games for Oregon State. He completed 62.4% of his passes, 1,455 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. This year, obviously DJU, basically the guy from start to finish. So Ben Gulbranson, he only ended up having 1 pass attempt this year for Oregon State. So, but he does know the program, and he knows the system, he knows the offense. So that should help a little bit. It's a really tough bowl game, Connor, because to me, you've got question marks on Notre Dame. I'm not excited about laying Notre Dame with Notre Dame. I'm not laying it with Notre Dame. I initially wanted Oregon State, but now you see Smith's out. You see a turnover in the coaching staff. You don't know how Gulbranson's going to play, or Angeli on the other side. You got 2 quarterbacks that, it's almost flip a coin. Who can you trust to put the better performance together with the extra time to prepare? with the bowl practices. What I will say about these two teams as well is it may come down to whose defense can step up a little bit more. And when you look at the defensive numbers for both of these teams, Notre Dame's defensive numbers were a little bit superior, at least in terms of total yards allowed to Oregon State. That being said, Oregon State's defense this year was very, very good against the run, even better in that regard than Notre Dame against the run. So I think that's critical because I'm not sure what we're going to get in the passing game from these two quarterbacks. So who's going to run the football better and stop the run better? Well, they're both pretty good against the run. I would say, though, Oregon State a slight advantage. I mean, I'm definitely still leaning Oregon State, but man, the love that I had for Oregon State weeks ago, now Smith's out. Now, DJU's in the transfer portal. And I think they're excited to play, but just a lot of moving parts. And the coaching staff is just completely shaken up and a makeshift staff for this bowl game. And as I've said many times, that's not always a bet on spot situation for me. So it's a lean to Oregon State, but I don't know if I'll bet it. I totally agree with the total now, but everybody's on that. Like this total opened 46.5. It's down to 42.5. I'm even seeing a 41.5 out there now.
41.
Totally agree with the move to the under. I think it's definitely going to be a slow-paced game. Neither team pushes pace. Neither team is – I don't know if the passing game is going to be great from either quarterback. They want to run the ball, and both of these teams have very good run defenses. So, yeah, it has the makings of a lower-scoring game for sure, but everybody's onto that. You're not getting a good number anymore with the under in this game. What do you think here, Conor? Sun Bowl.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a lower scoring game. And if it's like that, I want the points. If it's not that it's just I'm crazy about this, Notre Dame, even we talked about in some of these big teams, Miami, stuff like that, their backups still really, really good. Some of these guys that are going to get in. Yeah, and the quarterback situation, it's just like, what do we get with these guys? I think both teams are just going to run it good defense. You mentioned all the people out Notre Dame, offense, defense, all the stars. Oregon State, the coaching change, they got guys on defense that are out. They got a slew. And one of their top guys just went, to SC? Arnold, their linebacker. He's really good. He's gone. They got a few others that are out. But in the end, I don't know if I bet it, but I'd be on the dog or nothing here, in a low-scoring game if I had to.
Yep, I would say the same. I would say the same about this one. Dog and under if I bet it.